of action in relationship to the protesters was not one of either like they weren't going to ignore us, they weren't going to ticket us, they were going to arrest us, they were going to hold them for fingerprint checks. All of these at every step of the way were choices, and these choices were political. We were being arrested, we were being held on the basis of the content of our First Amendment rights. Of course they won't tell you that. But exactly what you have seen is you have seen a variety of political decisions infiltrating and co-opting the First Amendment right to peaceably assemble, to speak, and to petition the government for redress of grievances.
I want to make this abundantly clear. Over 300 arrests here in Chicago in connection to Occupy. There have been no criminal arrests. There have been no violence.
There have been over 300 arrests. I think the number is about 325 right now. Arrests total in relationship to Occupy Chicago. We have not had one incident of resisting arrest. We have not had one incident of drug or alcohol possession. We have not had one instance of anything criminal in any way. And yet we are being treated as though we are criminals of the most heinous kind, able to be deprived of even our most basic civil liberties.
We have documented that Occupy Chicago keeps a constant liaison with the police officers that are in contact with you.
Yes, at every site of occupation, at every moment of the movement, there is always at least one, many times, many more than that, especially for large movements or for large demonstrations. There always has to be at least one police representative, police liaison on duty to make sure that Occupy Chicago protesters are operating within the law and that they treat the police with a decent amount of respect and dignity.
And we also have to repeat that there have been no charges, no arrest whatsoever for resisting arrest or any sort of violence toward the police. Officer safety has not been an issue.
Officer safety has not been compromised at any point in this process. There have been no charges levied for resisting arrest. In fact, as a peaceful movement, we take a lot of pride in the fact that if the force of law, if Rahm Emanuel, if the Chicago Police Commissioner wants to arrest people in violation of our rights, we stand